to another Graceful Tangle tutorial. Today I'm going to be showing you how to create the Kitchener stitch, which is perfect for closing the toe of a sock like I'm going to be doing in this video, but also for closing the top or bottom of any knitted object that needs to be invisible. So here is what the Kitchener stitch will look like once it is complete. You can see that it is completely invisible. It's a really great way to join two ends of knitting together. So without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into the tutorial. Alrighty, so to work the Kitchener stitch to close the toe of a sock, we are going to start off by cutting our tail. You want to make sure it's at least 3 times the width of the stitches that you're going to be closing, but I will just always go a little bit more than that just to be on the safe side. So now that we have cut our tail, we're going to start off by threading it through our yarn needle, just like so. And I like to use a slightly thinner yarn needle than I typically would, just so that it keeps our gauge that we've had for the rest of our sock. If we use too big of a yarn needle, we're going to be working through these stitches, and so in a sense it's kind of like knitting them. It's going to stretch them out just a little bit. And if we use too big of a yarn needle, it's going to stretch them out too much, and it'll result in a loose Kitchener stitch, and we don't want that. We want it to be nice and secure. So the way that we work the Kitchener stitch on the toe of a sock is just a little bit different than a normal Kitchener stitch. We are going to skip any preparation and jump right into the repeat. And that is going to ensure that we don't have any ears, which are little ends that stick up at the end of our sock. So we are going to have the yarn coming from the back of our work because we just finished working on that needle. And now we are going to knit off this first stitch. So I'm working on the first needle here. I'm using the magic loop method, but you can also use 2DPNs or whatever method you prefer. So I'm going to slip this stitch off as if to knit. So I'm treating this yarn needle as my second needle. I'm inserting it into that first stitch as if I were going to knit it and sliding it right off. Then I'm going to leave this stitch on the yarn needle and insert my yarn needle into the next stitch as if to purl. I'm not going to purl. I'm not going to slip this stitch off. I'm just going to pull my needle through. Just like so. Okay, on the back needle, we are going to purl this stitch off, slip it off as if to purl, and then knit this second stitch on, and then we will pull through. Just like so. Make sure you pull nice and snug so that it is nice and tight when we're finished. And then we're just going to repeat that all the way across. So we're going to knit off this first needle, pull on, and pull through. Then we're going to pull off, knit on. So you're just going to repeat those 2 steps until you get to the last 2 stitches. Okay, so I have now reached the last 2 stitches on each of my needles, so I have 4 stitches remaining. I am now just going to repeat those same steps again, except I'm going to end with both stitches off the needles. So what that's going to look like is knitting off per usual, and then I'm going to go ahead and pull off this stitch as well on that same needle. Then I'm going to pull through, and then I'm going to pull off the second needle and then knit off the second needle. And there we go. Then I'm just going to pull those stitches off the needle, set my needles aside, and I'm going to pull that nice and snug. Now you can see that there is a little bit of an ear here. That is where we just pulled through all those stitches. So I'm going to flip my sock to the bottom. The bottom of your sock is where the heel is going to be. Now I'm going to be placing an afterthought heel for this sock. And you can find the link for that in the description box below. But on the bottom of your sock, I am just going to thread this needle through my last decrease. So you can see this little decrease right here. I'm just going to pull my needle through that, and it's going to hide that ear a little bit better, and then it won't be as noticeable. Just like that. I think I went a little bit off camera there, but you can see that I just pulled it straight through. And now I'm just going to finish weaving in my end by inserting my hand into the sock, pulling it through a stitch, just like so, and then I'm going to pull that out. And then I will just weave in my ends on the inside of the sock. And there we go. There is our Kitchener stitch. I hope you found this tutorial super helpful. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any future videos. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section below. Or shoot me an email at thegracefultangle@gmail.com. I am more than happy to answer any and all questions you may have. Let me know in the comments if there are any future tutorials that you would love to see from me. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you all next time. Bye!